he's not allowed to leave the house without socks on. So he said he was trying to get his socks on. He said you came upstairs, grabbed him by both arms, picked him up off the ground, and then threw him at that cupboard in the hallway upstairs. They said that got off of his feet and hit his back and then fell to the ground where your husband caught him. That's what both of them are telling me.
She got upset. She threw him down. I caught him on the way down, and then.
So what do you mean on the way down? Was it like down the steps, or was it?
No, it was through the doorway of the bedroom, and then I reached down and I grabbed him.
So he never like hit the ground. You kind of caught him.
He never hit the ground. I grabbed him before his head.
Was her intent because he wasn't listening to her, or do you think her intent was to hurt him?
She was very, very angry, and she was ready to throw him. She's like, "I'm throwing you out. You need to get out of here and never come back." And she said to me, "I'm done with you." But she.
On a Tuesday afternoon in Ohio, officers responded to a domestic disturbance. A parent, a child, two competing accounts of what happened inside that house. When the law removes every officer's choice, who ends up in handcuffs, and does the right answer always follow?
I hear somebody in the garage.
Okay. Yeah, you can see stuff all over.
Hello? Hello?
How's it going? Can you step outside with us for a second?
I have an undershirt on.
That's okay. Can you just step outside with us?
Can I just go put an undershirt on, please?
No, can we come in? We're going to come in with you if
Just
you're going to
come
go.
sit down. We don't mind. Believe me, we've seen people in way worse.
Yeah.
Go ahead, step
But
out
I'm
for
on
us.
camera. Hello. Right?
Yeah, well, your husband's out here. I can come inside and talk to you, okay?
Can you just let me give me
I can't. I can't let you be alone. We got called.
Why?
Because we got called to an active domestic, so this is why we're here.
Come in, sir. Thank you. Can you just take me off camera then so I can go put an
I
undershirt on?
can't. So what's going on today?
Nothing is going on.
Okay, so we see a bunch of stuff outside out front. So how did that all get out there? Like there's phones, stuff thrown all over the driveway in the front yard. What's going on with that?
It's music binders.
Okay. Well, there was a phone in the driveway.
That's my phone.
Okay, so what caused all that?
My phone wasn't thrown anywhere
Well, why is it in the driveway then?
because I put it down there.
Okay, well, what's all with all the other stuff in the driveway?
I told my husband to take it and he wouldn't take it and he wouldn't leave. So
Okay.
I threw it out because he's going to need it today.
Okay.
And that's all there is
Are
to
you
it.
trying to kick him out?
I asked him to leave.
Okay, so kind of just back this up a little bit. What started all of this today? Because like I said, we got called to an active domestic.
Okay.
Said someone was throwing stuff all over the house and being really violent. So that's why we're here, okay? So kind of start me from the beginning about what happened and we'll go from there.
About 5 minutes ago, I asked him to leave because he was running late to take my son to swim again.
Okay, so
And I said, you're going to need your stuff.
does
and
he
wouldn't
does he
leave on
live
time.
here?
Yes.
Okay.
And he said I told him he needs to take my music with him
Okay.
because my son is acting out again. And I said, you need to leave now because you're going to be late because his swim class starts at exactly 3:30.
Okay.
And he's missed a lot of classes and he's been late a lot.
Okay.
He's had a lot of absences and I don't want him to miss again.
Okay.
And he wouldn't get his stuff in time. So I threw it out and I said, go.
Okay.
I'm not going to be responsible for him missing another class.
Okay. And you said this has been an ongoing issue with just like with you guys, has things been just like tension's been high, or seems like something with him being late seems that's kind of
He's late a lot.
seems like this is a bigger issue than him just being late today.
Yes, he's late a lot.
Kind of your frustration right now, how he's always late.
He doesn't take care of responsibilities, but I wouldn't say me throwing out is a domestic event. I threw out some music binders.
Okay. So he
And
said.
I set my phone down
Okay.
before I was trying to get in the shower.
Okay.
Which is why I don't have an undershirt on.
Did anybody get violent with anyone?
No one hit anyone.
Okay.
No one is hurt.
Okay. I just bring it down. Okay, we're here to help. Okay, I know you don't will probably want us here, but we're here. Okay, so we're
I'm
just
not
trying to figure out.
upset with you.
Okay, so he did say that you potentially had been violent towards his. So we
Hudson
are
is not hurt. Hudson
okay.
is not anything.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to him.
That's fine. You can go do that.
Where is he
He's
at?
very upset because I made him do his homework today, and he didn't want to do his homework.
How old is he?
He's
Okay, no, he wants to do the homework, so it makes sense. Okay.
He doesn't want to do it. I had
Where's-
to cancel his composition today because he didn't have his homework done. He didn't have his assignments finished, so he was
Okay.
very upset.
Okay.
He was rebelling. He didn't want to do his music, and I said,
Okay.
"Will you take your music out then?
Okay.
And you get to class on time. You can't
Okay.
be late again."
Okay.
So he's rebelling and acting out because I'm asking him to get his homework
Okay,
done.
where's he at right now?
He's out there.
Outside?
Yeah.
Where was he? I didn't see him when we walked up. Was he in a car or something?
He might have gotten in the car.
Okay.
He's supposed to be at swim, like he's late.
Okay, I
That's
gotcha.
what I'm explaining,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Which car would he be in?
The red one.
Okay, the red
It's
one.
right out
We'll
front.
go talk to him. Do you have your ID on you by chance, or do you have access to it?
You need my ID?
I do. So we are investigating a domestic incident. So we by law have to take a report. So we have to identify all the parties.
You're taking a police report today? My husband is causing a police report because I put
Yes.
some music outside?
Well, when there's accusations
Oh my
of violence.
gosh.
Well, it does like the
Do I need to call my attorney?
Man, we're not. No one's under arrest right now. We're just doing an investigation to determine if there was a domestic incident that happened.
There's no domestic
Well,
incident that
how
happened.
am I supposed to know that? We just got here. I have to talk to you. I have to talk to him, and I have to talk to your husband to figure out exactly
He
what
just
happened.
left.
Your husband is right there.
Then my is right there.
Okay, and like I said, we're gonna talk to all the parties.
Well, then can you go talk to him?
We will. That's why I need to get you identified and get your ID.
I missed this swim class again.
And I apologize for that, but I have a job to do, and that's what we have to do.
I understand. Yes, I will get
Okay.
you whatever you need to have.
Here. 628. You have Emily attached. I'll give this back to you. Okay. Do you mind watching her and we'll talk to you?
I need to be watched.
Ma'am, like I was explaining to you, this is a domestic incident. We have to keep both parties separated, and then we'll kind of go from there. Like I said, no one's under arrest. I have to talk to all the parties involved, and then we'll go from there. I understand you're upset, but that's just what we have to do right now, okay?
I just feel like I'm being treated like some kind of a criminal.
Hi, what's going on?
I guess she saw something on like the history of YouTube. Hudson, he's been having problems with getting on YouTube shirts and things like that during school when he's not supposed to.
Okay.
And me and her, we've been having a little trouble because he's been very disruptive and argumentative with her. You know, it was getting aggressive. It was scaring me because she literally went upstairs to grab him. And she just like threw him to the floor. And said,
She
"Get
threw
out!"
your son? Okay.
And it just,
Is he okay? Does he have
He's
any...
okay. He's okay. I mean,
Okay. Do you want him checked
physically,
out?
he's okay.
Okay.
Physically, he's okay.
Okay.
But I mean, like,
So
she's been
saw...
trying to kick me and him out of the house altogether for a little while now, and for one reason or another, she's just really angry and upset.
Okay. Is there any like mental health history or anything like that?
I mean, with her, no.
Okay.
I mean, I have ADHD, but
Okay.
like it's
So
handleable. I take medicine for it.
So she got angry because she saw something on
Like
the
YouTube
kids'
history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your iPad.
That it was the song was
Go
called
ahead.
"Devil in Disguise." It's just a song. It's not actually like demonic or anything. It's actually just a story of,
And
But
we
she
can
saw
slow
the
it
word
down
devil
around.
and she blew up. So she's like,
Okay, so she saw that, and he's the one that searched it.
So he did originally a while ago, but for this morning I did because I was listening to the song.
Okay.
Wanting to see what it was about and everything.
Okay, because you saw that he was listening
Yeah,
to
so
it.
he's
Okay.
listening to it. I'm like, okay, well, I should find out more about that.
Gotcha.
Listen to the song. It's actually, more of a warning of, not judging books by a cover. And,
Okay.
stuff like
How
that.
old is he?
He is
11. Okay. All right. So she did throw him to the ground, you said. Anything else physical?
So no, not against us. She did throw a bunch of his stuff out on the lawn, and she picked it up, which is
Yeah. Well, some of
most
it.
Most
Yeah.
of it, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, most of it. It was.
Is this your
it was
phone?
strewn. This is not. This is her
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
That's my shoe. School book. And
So nothing physical with you, but she did
not with me.
throw him. Is there, obviously we're going to look into this a little more. We're going to, get both sides of the story, whatever she
Yes,
says
of course,
and
of
stuff.
course.
But is there any place that maybe you guys can go today, or she can go?
Well, right now,
separate?
I was going to take him to swim, and then I have piano lessons that I teach afterwards, and I guess I was going to take it with me
Yeah, it's probably the best
to do those
idea.
things.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license on you?
I have a driver's license. Yes, I have
Okay.
a driver's license. Do you
All right.
need to see that?
Yes, please.
So there's that.
627 for a DO. Zero zero. So copy. So here's this back for you. So when he threw, you said is his name? Okay. When she threw him, like how did he do?
So
how
he was,
did she
he
do?
was in the room. She was telling him he had to get out. I've had enough of it. I don't want him here anymore. And then she, he was upstairs and sitting, and she grabbed him, towards the doorway, and through the doorway and stuff like that. I ended up he fell to the ground.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at the. So
No,
she.
I caught him to, at least from
What?
He's Washington. So
Yeah.
I caught him from the worst of the fall. I mean, he fell down, but at least I
So when she
stopped
grabbed
his-
him, how did she grab him?
So she was husband was starting to walk past her and stuff like that, and she grabbed him and
Like shoulders, like.
just like shoulders and
Yeah.
and
Okay. He didn't hit anything. You were able to catch him. You
I
said?
was able to catch. He kind of like went through the door and stumbled and fell, and he like turned as he was going down.
Okay.
And I ended up catching his like shoulders and head before it,
Okay.
fell to the floor.
Okay. I'm gonna get him started on a witness statement real quick, and then I'll come talk.
Is it Joseph, correct?
Yes,
So I know
yes.
you probably explained to that officer. So
Yes, I did.
I'm going to be the main investigating officer for this.
Okay.
So kind of explain to me what transpired, what happened today.
So, he was being really resistant to completing like his
Okay,
his
and that's what
work
your
and
wife was
stuff like
saying.
that. And she was, he was back talking and,
Okay.
and
Is
all
that
those things.
out of the norm for him, or?
Lately, no.
Okay.
I mean, like he's been doing a lot lately. Back talking.
Okay.
Just like otherwise being kind of a
Preteen. Okay.
aggressive.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
It's snarky and all that. And it's obviously she's not handling it very well. She blows up.
Okay.
She gets I know me and her have been having some issues.
Okay.
And she's been wanting to like get a divorce and quit the whole thing and make go with me. And
Okay.
she's like ready to like get rid of both of us.
Okay.
But it was fairly civil over the weekend. We were just trying to like get things done.
Okay.
I'm getting him enrolled into a public school so that he can like get out of the house.
Okay.
He's been homeschooled for
Okay.
years.
Okay.
But now it's kind of a problem because he's doing other things other than school during
Okay.
the time he's supposed to be doing school.
Okay.
So anyways, she was trying to do something on YouTube to, she was trying to sign him up for a piano competition. One of the things was that you have to put a YouTube video on there. And when she was looking on YouTube, she saw a thing called Devil in Disguise. Which in turn, I had looked up because he had been he had listened to it. He even told me about it, like Devil in Disguise, and he sang a little bit about it. I was like, oh. So I looked it up to find out what it is. It's actually not bad, even though it has the word devil in it. It's actually more of a warning of not, judging books by the cover. And, being wary of people and not just taking things at face value. But she saw that and she blew up and she's like, I want him out of the house. I want to, you guys need to never come back. Just take him in and just never come back.
Okay.
She went upstairs and Hudson was in his room, the school room, and he tried to go past her. And she grabbed him and threw him to the ground with his shoulders, and he kind of like did a twist. And
So
I caught him.
So she went up to the schoolroom.
She went up to the schoolroom
to get him
to throw him out of the house. Like,
Okay, so she wanted to throw him out of the house.
Out of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, and she even said that along the way. Is this, I want to, I'm gonna throw you out.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
Do you care if I go talk to him right now?
you can go talk to him.
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
what your wife explained to me is that she said that you were supposed to be taking him to, I believe, swim practice.
I am supposed to be taking him
And
to
she
swim
said
practice.
that you were running late and that really upset her. She
Okay,
said...
so that's not true.
Okay.
All right. There. Okay. So yes, I'm supposed to be going to swim practice. No, it had nothing to do with it being late.
Okay.
She got upset because of what she saw on YouTube and that whole thing. That's what she was yelling about. And said, it's got devil in the name. And,
Okay.
stuff like that. Obviously, we were supposed to be getting ready for swim. He was being resistant to getting ready in the first place. That's why he was in his room. He wasn't on task.
Okay.
Trying to actually get out the door. He was up there drawing or something. I can't remember what it was, but but anyway, she got upset. She threw him down. I caught him on the way down, and then.
So what do you mean on the way down? Was it like down the steps, or was it?
It was no. It was through the doorway of the bedroom, and then I reached down and I grabbed him.
So he never hit the ground. You kind of caught him.
He never hit the ground. I grabbed him before his head.
Was her intent because he wasn't listening to her, or do you think her intent was to hurt him?
She was very, very angry, and she was ready to throw him. She's like, "I'm throwing you out. You need to get out of here and never come back." And I'm she said to me, "I'm done with you." And she did the basically said.
Is that her phone or is that your phone?
That's her phone.
Okay, she said that was her phone. Okay.
That's her phone. All right, and then.
Do you think she intended to hurt him when he did that?
I think she was mad enough to hurt him. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what scared me. Was that? Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what made me call.
Have you guys been having some difficulties?
We've had some difficulties. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was out here last year, I believe.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, were you suffering from some early onset Alzheimer's? Is that
Alzheimer's?
Okay.
I have ADHD.
Okay.
And then I was also suffering from some.
And I'm not saying that's just from what my memory recalls. I remember that being something that.
It's okay. I understand. It was a while ago. And you're in the ballpark, I guess.
Yeah.
But ADHD.
Okay.
And then, also depression. So I was having a really hard time.
Okay.
Just coping with life in general.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult. But
how has her mental health been lately?
Lately, she's just getting very angry for anything.
Is it towards you, towards him?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
And you said it was pretty good this weekend, and then today just kind of like this?
Well, no, it's not been pretty. It's been hot and cold.
Okay.
Sometimes it's really, really angry. And I mean, just a few days ago, we spent a couple days in the hotel because she did similar, but without basically get out and I never want to see you again.
So what caused you to come back after that? Did she cool down, or?
Well, okay, so she cooled down, yes, and on top of that, our lives are fairly intertwined, and I didn't have, I don't have family here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I could stay with family, and on top of that, it was. We were trying to be amicable because she's looking to get a divorce, and and I'm like, okay, we'll just work together until we can do that.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we were. But,
have you guys started that process, or?
We have not filed for divorce.
Okay.
This was recent. This was only we stayed over was a couple days just this last week. It was Monday and Tuesday, Sunday, and then we stayed in a hotel. Came back Tuesday afternoon, and then I've had to work, and I work three jobs. I work as a trainer in the early mornings, and then I go work at the garden center for afternoon, and then I teach piano in the evening. So I was doing that, and then of course I had to actually go out of work a couple times just this last week on short notice because she's like, I don't want him here anymore.
Okay. Do you think today's outburst with him potentially throwing your down and grabbing him, so kind of like when she grabbed him, how would you kind of describe that?
So
would you was it both hands and
both
and then
hands
threw him
on
to
the
the
shoulders,
shoved him to the ground? It was did you feel it was a disciplinary thing, or it was purely out of anger trying to kick him out?
Completely out of anger.
Okay.
It was not a disciplinary thing. There was no control over it.
Okay.
It was
how did he react to that?
He was crying.
Okay.
Yeah. and he was upset and he was crying. And he's like, why, and so I picked him up, got him back on his feet, and then we started walking out, and that's when she started throwing everything out on the lawn. There's still a few things, but she cleaned up like most of it while I was sitting there by the car.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to.
Okay.
If you want to just kind of, like the other spin, fill this out. Unfortunately, I know you're probably going to be late to swim, or he's probably not going to get there at all. We do have to do our investigation, so we have to be thorough about it, because when it is a domestic incident, we have to investigate if charges are warranted, okay?
Okay.
So if you just want to put your name, address, date of birth, all the stuff that you do know, like report number, all that stuff, don't worry about it. If you just want to take a couple minutes to fill it out, I'll be right back with you.
Yeah, because I said you should not come back if you're not willing to do your work.
Okay, gotcha. Where are your kids at now? Were they?
I only have one child.
Okay, your child, sorry.
He's outside.
Okay.
Probably in the car. I haven't had a chance to see where he is.
Okay, understood. So it was basically just an argument that maybe progressed a little too far.
I wouldn't even say it was an argument. It happened in like 10 seconds. I asked them to leave. I threw their stuff out. I tossed his music book back outside.
Okay, understood. Like I said, just give us a...
And I set my phone down, and it's in the sun, so I'd like to go get it if that's okay.
We'll be able
with
to
you.
get it here in just a minute. Whenever the other officer comes in, we'll grab it. That way it's out of the sun.
Okay. This is the kind of thing that makes me think I should divorce my husband. Definitely.
Obviously,
I cannot believe he did this.
Yeah, I obviously
this is
can't
so unbelievably
give advice on that, but if it's leading to us being called here, I can understand, that thought process a little bit. So
He's about to lose his job again.
Understood. That can obviously make situations very difficult. I understand that.
And I told him that he needs to support himself, and he's upset. But that's not what we talked about today.
Right.
He's just in general trying to find reasons to hurt my reputation or whatever the case may be.
Has he called us before out here, like on incidents, or
No.
we've never been out here before?
I called you one time
Okay. How long ago was that?
when he was changing his medication for his depression.
Understood.
He did get violent.
Okay. Yeah, so, obviously, regarding your marriage, that's something that you guys can figure out, definitely, but I would say if it's leading to, us being called here multiple times, that, never hurts to have those conversations or speak to counselors or whatever can happen, so. Obviously, just because we have to come out here for these types of calls, we do have to take a report for it. So we give everyone the option. You don't have to, but it is an option. Do you want to fill out a written statement?
No.
Okay.
Should I? Should I be calling an attorney? I don't know. This is not something that I go through.
But so,
I
yeah.
don't have any experience with this.
Yeah, so basically, obviously, what you're telling me is that there was no violence, no threats, no anything other than just, whatever happened, and you tossed their books outside, right? That's
backpack.
His backpack, okay? So obviously, that's not domestic violence. Now, if you took it and you threw it at his head, that could be a different story, but that's not what you're telling me happened here,
No.
right? So in those, obviously, that's a much different circumstance. If what you're telling me is true, no one should probably be getting charged here today. But ultimately, he has to be able to talk to him, kind of figure out what's going on, right? But if it is nothing that no one's going to be arrested, I'm not saying that you need it to write a statement down, but it just kind of gives your opportunity to give your side of the story other than what you've already told us. But obviously, it's all documented on body camera as well. Now, if you want to get an attorney, again, this isn't anything criminal, but for like civil matter between you and your husband, that's obviously your right as well.
I have no trust. The fact that he did this is it's absolutely absurd. I have no trust. The only paperwork I think I should fill out is maybe an ex parte so he can't come back here, because if he's willing to lie and do something like this, what else is he capable of?
And again, that would be a conversation probably for an attorney, because ultimately we can't just force him to leave.
This is
right?
wrong.
So it's one of those things where it's like if you guys are wanting to separate and go your different ways,
This makes me want to.
I can understand that. Yeah. So, like I said, we'll figure out kind of what's going on today, and then outside of that, that would be between you and your husband. We obviously don't have any control in that. So. How long have you all been married?
Since 2008.
2008. Okay. Have you always lived here, or have lived in different areas?
No, we lived in New York City
Okay.
for many years, yeah.
Wow. Didn't
We've
have
been
these.
together since I was 20 years old.
Didn't have these types of issues in the past. Is this a newer thing, or?
He has cognitive decline,
Understood. Understood. Is he
and his
diagnosed?
ADHD has gotten severely worse.
When you say cognitive decline, has he been diagnosed with
Yes.
anything? Okay. What's he diagnosed with?
Cognitive decline. It's
Okay.
like early onset dementia,
Yeah.
but it's not categorized as dementia yet
Understood.
because
It's not that
there's like
progressed that far.
stages.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he has depression
Understood.
and ADHD, and they're not sure what causes what. The neurologist isn't sure what the root cause is. That certain diseases cause symptoms, and
right.
it's kind of the chicken or the egg.
Right. It's like, understood. Understood. And how
He's not well balanced.
is he? Obviously, I know you said in the past when his medication's been off. Is that something that's been kind of stabilized for a while, or?
Yeah, when he remembers to take it, and even if he forgets, it's not the kind of medication that
Right.
like will have an immediate effect.
Right.
It's just that it's not working.
Understood.
He's just constantly forgetting things.
Understood.
It's sad, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you spend that long with somebody, 17 years. It's a long time to.
Longer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I was born in '84,
Right. So.
so
Yeah.
yeah, much longer than that even.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate.
Absolutely. So, obviously, like I said, we just have to do our jobs, make sure.
But no
everything's
one
okay.
is hurt.
Yeah.
There's not been any violence.
Right. And that's what, obviously, we just by that, right? And then outside of that, we can, everything else will just be more of a civil matter. But if there's no violence, no threats, nothing like that, then obviously that's a much different circumstances than if there was. So that's what
Very
we just, that's
different, yeah.
what obviously we just have to verify that and go from there. So. How long have you all lived in this house?
So we bought this house before the pandemic started.
Okay.
Shortly before.
Understood.
Yeah.
And you said it was solely over them just kind of running late today. I know it's been a repetitive behavior, but that's kind of what the tip of the iceberg was today, or that kind of forced this obviously for us to be called out here.
Yes, I keep asking myself
Yeah.
to get up, get dressed,
Right.
be on time. You have to be punctual. You have to honor your commitments.
Understood.
If you say you're going to be in a class, you have
Be
to go
there.
to class.
Right.
Doesn't matter what kind of class it is, you have to be on time.
Right.
He's just going through an extremely rebellious phase.
Right.
He doesn't want to do anything I'm asking him to do, which is very frustrating because he's a good kid,
Right. Absolutely.
but he's a dishonest child. He's not been honest about a lot of things. And I've confronted him and told him that we might have to get him like professional counseling because he's getting online more and more
Right.
and more.
Right.
Almost to the point where I am contemplating thinking maybe he has like an addiction to screen time. Any screen time. And it's really affecting his life in a negative way.
That's what obviously we see it a lot with kids, especially that age. It's a different culture that they're being raised in with the phones and the computers and just having that constant access.
He keeps
So,
getting into my accounts and like breaking into
oh, wow.
my computer and my phone and like
Yeah, because I was going to say, obviously, if you have
he's
parental controls,
bypassing
but
like
he's
the
getting past that.
parental controls.
Right.
He's very bright.
That's what it sounds like.
He's
I mean,
very
maybe he has a
bright.
future in cybersecurity or
And
something like that. But
he's just not respecting the rules.
right, absolutely.
And he's willing to say anything he wants to say, do anything he wants to do
Right.
to get out from underneath
Right.
school. So he's in an online school right now, and he's been in an online school, and it's been a good experience, but I've noticed this year he's having behaviors that are not what I can condone.
Right. Absolutely.
So So
Understand.
it was so bad that he was in the back seat this week, and I gave him my phone to listen to some music. And when I pulled over to get something to eat, I found him on Minecraft,
Understood.
even though I told him not to. So he's just rebelling. He's
Right.
very wants to show the world that he's in control
Right.
mode.
I'm sure, I don't have kids that age, but I can imagine that, I'm sure that is a tough thing to get out of them, but at the same time, I understand the importance of it, so of making sure, he
His
understands
teachers
that.
are aware. I've had conversations with his teachers about it. I've had conversations with his piano teacher about it.
Right.
And he's going to have to learn the hard way, I guess.
Has it affected obviously I know you said he gets behind on school a little bit, but has it affected his grades or
It
anything?
has
Have you noticed
affected
a
his
decline?
grades. Yes, it has. He's always been a straight A student, and I think he has a B,
Right,
which for us, like,
right,
never happens.
right.
It has affected his school. And it's affected his sleep, because then he has
Sure.
to stay up
Right,
and get his work done
right,
when he should be winding down for bed or
absolutely.
doing something else.
And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of studies that show screens and that sort of thing. If he's doing his work right before bed, you're not getting as good of sleep and that sort of
Exactly.
thing. So,
It's very important that he basically just listen to me.
I would agree with you. I would
It's
agree.
pretty simple.
Yes.
He's just not respecting the hierarchy.
Right,
That mom is the boss and
right. And I mean,
you aren't as the child. You have to listen to mom. You have to take a shower when I tell you to take a shower and
right,
brush your teeth and comb your hair in the morning when you're supposed to. The normal things.
absolutely. Sadly, it is one of those things where, obviously, I don't want to say he's taking advantage of the situation, but if there is some issues between you and your husband, your son might be picking up on that and try to, we see that a lot with kids.
And you can't spank your kids.
Right.
I mean, you can, but you can't. You can't. It's
Yep.
not.
Obviously, there's a lot of different
There's
beliefs on that.
exactly.
Yeah, but
So, I don't do that.
right, I understand.
And so, raising my voice is the extent of
Right. And it's like,
what can I do?
Right. And if you try to ground him from screens, obviously, if he still has to do his work
That's when
online,
he really retaliates. Is
Right.
when I tell him no. When I take away the computer.
Right.
Sometimes I physically have to take it away.
Right.
He gets. It's just a bad situation with him.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen today. I just asked him
Today.
to go to swim class.
Gotcha. Does he enjoy swim? Is it something he normally
He does. He
likes
loves
doing?
swim class. In fact, everything he's rebelling about, he loves doing.
Right.
He even likes school. I think he's doing it for the sake of rebellion.
Right.
Not because he doesn't like his activities. Actually, he begs to do his activities.
Doing it just to do it instead of the outcome that is happening from not being able to do it. The activities.
Yes. His violin teacher says that sometimes children like to just test their boundary in whatever way they can test the boundary or
Right.
push buttons because they want to see how far they can
Yeah,
take
that's
their
awesome.
authoritative.
Especially, I mean, you said he's 7 years old, correct? So
He's going to be 12 in December.
right. So obviously, that's kind of an age where boys start to feel like they're going to be men, and even though they're
Yeah.
not there yet, that mindset starts to change a little bit. So I would say this is probably the early stages of him testing that to see if, not that he's going to be the man of the house or anything like that, but if he can, how far he can get away with certain things. So
It's I don't know, it seems highly unusual to me.
I
I
mean-
didn't know any boys like that when I was growing up that acted that way.
yeah, I mean, obviously in my job we see this a lot, right? So I would say that
You see it a lot?
yes, I would
I
say
would
that's
think this is so bizarre and rare and unique and
I would say this is a daily occurrence of
It shouldn't be.
these types of calls. I would agree with you. It's definitely
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a daily occurrence at all.
Yeah. So
Should never happen at all.
assume they'll be back in here in a minute. Like I said,
I don't know what they could possibly be doing.
Yeah, I would assume if your husband's just trying to share certain things, and like you said, if he is trying to talk poorly about you, I don't know if that's what's happening or not. But ultimately, there's some sort of conversation of them just trying to piece together, what exactly happened, and make sure there was nothing more than just an argument or disagreement. But
He's a good boy. My son's a good boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just making a lot of mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, he'll probably do that a lot over the course of his life, but you hope
I'd
that...
rather him learn now.
Right, that you'd rather make mistakes about being on screens a little too much than something criminal or something like that, so... I
Yes.
can understand where you're coming from. It sounds like he's a pretty bright kid, if he's getting good grades,
He's
and
highly intelligent.
I mean, if he can play multiple instruments and all this other stuff, I'd say he probably is. So.
I think that intelligence is part of the problem. He gets bored.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
And I understand why he gets bored, but
Right.
he still has to have respect for
Completely agree.
his teachers.
His teachers, his parents, I mean,
I tell him, like, it doesn't matter how unenthusiastic you are about whatever it is that you're studying.
absolutely.
You have to show basic respect for the people who are trying to help you learn.
Absolutely.
And the school system has required curriculum, and you have to learn it. And you have to do the tests, turn things in time, on time. So,
Obviously, I know you said your husband was. Is he diagnosed with anything, or is it? I know you said that you've
he
had
is
talks
not,
of professional
no,
care.
Hudson is not diagnosed with anything.
Just take a look at something real quick.
Do you want to grab? Do you care if I grab her phone real quick?
yeah,
Off of,
Stay out here. Where do you want me? You stay.
is it this one right here? Oh wait, it's not laying out there in the sun.
I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
Well, I already told you what happened.
Right back over there.
What is going on?
I'm not sure. They're just checking something. Like I said, if I could just have you
Are they
go over that.
videoing my whole house?
They're not taking extra video than this, and if it inside of, even if someone did request that, it's all redacted footage inside of home, so it's not something that you would have to be concerned about. So.
She need a witness statement.
She said you didn't want one, correct? The witness statement that we
I
discussed.
don't think I need to do anything.
Okay, so I have a couple other questions just based on talking to your son and your husband. I just have a couple follow-up questions, okay?
Yes.
So they kind of gave me a different story about how this all started. So they were saying it was potentially about a YouTube song that you saw, potentially looked up. Does that ring any bells?
No. What happened is I told him to go to swim class on time.
Okay.
And I told him he needed to take all of his things with him
Okay.
because he was going to be going with Joseph to the afterwards
Okay.
and not coming back. And I said, you are late and you need to go right now.
Okay. So did you tell him to go up to his room and put his socks on? Is that... So you said he was running late and that's what he told us to
No,
do?
I said, you need to go get in the
Okay.
car right now and have your
Okay.
shoes and your socks on. He didn't have his
Okay.
shoes and his
And
socks
so he
on.
said, he told us he went upstairs to get his socks on and you followed him upstairs. Do you remember that?
I didn't follow him upstairs. He was
Okay.
upstairs coloring instead
Okay.
of getting his shoes on.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you found him potentially coloring, not getting his socks on, what happened next?
I picked him up and I said, go downstairs right now and go get in the car because you are late.
So when you say you picked him up, what exactly did you do?
He was sitting down in his white chair and I picked him up and I put him in my arms and I started to walk him down the steps.
Okay.
Because sometimes that is the only way to get him to go. When he's
Okay.
doing his thing and he wants to keep doing it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he is not hurt. He wasn't picked up in any kind of
Well, so
way.
in Hudson tell a very different story about picking him up.
I'm sure they do.
So-
They are both very much in trouble with me because they are not taking care of the responsibilities
Okay.
and being
Well,
where they need to be.
why would he lie to us?
Because he doesn't want to be in trouble
Okay.
again
Okay.
for not being on time and being late and missing his
Okay.
class again
So,
for like the 4th week.
so you're saying
in a row.
nothing else happened. You just picked him up out of his chair.
I picked
put
him up. I sternly said, "It's time to go, and you need to go now.
Okay, so
Go get in the car."
I'm gonna tell you what they told me. Okay, so they told me that Hudson was going up to get his socks because he's not allowed to leave the house without socks on. So he said he was trying to get his socks on. He said you came upstairs, grabbed him by both arms, picked him up off the ground, and then threw him at that cupboard in the hallway upstairs. They said that he got off of his feet and hit his back and then fell to the ground where your husband caught him. That's what both of them are telling me.
Again.
Is there a reason why they're telling a very different story than what you're telling me?
Yes, there is.
Okay. And they also said, as you were doing this, you were telling him to, I don't want you in this house anymore, get out.
Yes, because I do. I don't want him to come back into this house this afternoon. He needs to go take
They
care
were
of his-
making it seem like you meant that you don't want him in this house at all. That's how said it. He's like, he said that you have made it clear you don't want him in this house at all. He even told us a story a couple weeks ago where you dropped him off, kicked him out of the car in the middle of nowhere because you didn't want him anymore, and he had to find strangers to call someone to come and pick him up.
Okay, so as I was explaining to this officer, has been very rebellious.
Okay. 7-year-old.
It's not acceptable.
Okay.
I keep telling him he's an online student, and he's always been an online student.
Okay.
But this year school is different, and he has to do his assignments on time.
Okay.
The YouTube thing has nothing to do with today.
Okay.
The YouTube thing is an ongoing issue that I'm potentially going to hire like a psychologist or a counselor to work with him on, because he's getting on screens
Okay.
repeatedly when he's
Okay.
supposed to be doing his schoolwork, and he's scrolling YouTube shorts.
Okay.
And he's bypassing my parental controls on all of my electronic devices,
Okay.
including his school-issued computer, and doing that instead of doing his schoolwork.
Okay.
So I had to move my office into his schoolroom to watch him, to make sure that he's not cheating, to make sure that he's staying on task, he's doing his schoolwork, and he is very, very angry because he's now not getting away with what he was getting away with before.
Okay. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit to, I want to talk a little bit more about you picking him up. Okay?
Nobody is hurt today.
It doesn't, just because there's no one's hurt doesn't mean something
Okay.
didn't happen.
Okay.
So
There's not any abuse that
okay,
anyone
but
did toward
did
anyone in this
you pick
house
him
today.
up and throw him at that cupboard upstairs?
No, I did not
Okay.
throw him. I picked him up and I tried to take him down the steps.
You said you tried to take him down the steps?
Yeah, I tried to walk him down the steps.
Okay, like I said, that's a very different story within what both of them are telling me.
And that is why he's in so much trouble, because he's not being forthright
Okay.
about his online activities. He's not being forthright about getting his schoolwork done. He's not. I caught him using Google Lens the other day trying to take a test. Google Lens is where you can like take a picture of a question and then AI gives you the answer. Well, his school doesn't allow AI. So he got grounded for that. Today
Okay.
I canceled his private lesson here at my house because he didn't have his theory homework done. His professor didn't come here for his composition lesson because she's been in trouble basically since he woke up this morning because he hasn't been doing his schoolwork.
Okay.
And I caught him cheating
Okay.
this week. So, I mean, that has nothing to do with that, but I said, you cannot come back here if you're not going to follow the house rules. House rules are house rules, and they are also your
Okay.
school rules as well, because you do your school here in the house. And I said authorities can be called for lying and cheating and doing unauthorized activities online. He
Okay.
got a hold of my credit card and purchased things so he could game on the computer. So
Okay.
he's in trouble, and he wants out of trouble
Okay.
because I'm having to basically be a good mom
Okay.
and tell him you need to be respectful, honest, and accountable.
Okay.
And he's acting out.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to about those things that you talked to me about real quick, and then I'll be right back in. Okay? You just hang tight for me for 1 second.
It would be helpful
Yeah.
if you could tell him some of your experiences
Absolutely.
with boys that don't learn how to,
Absolutely, man.
you know.
Engaged and talking to all parties. what's going to happen today is we are going to be arresting Emily for domestic violence, for her assault on your son, okay? So, she's going to be going to jail tonight. I would prefer probably not to see his mom come out in handcuffs. I feel like that's probably best for him. So, but we still have some more things we need for you to fill out. If you potentially want to maybe drive up, just like up the road just a little bit, that way it's not something that he sees. Do you have any questions about that? So the way domestic violence works in the state of Ohio, it doesn't matter whether you want to press charges. Domestic violence is if we establish enough probable cause that it has happened, we have to make that arrest. We don't have a choice. So based off of your account of what happened, I believe that is what transpired, and I do not believe she's telling me the full truth. So I do, especially for the story, and it matched up exactly with what you were telling me. So that's kind of where we're going at today, okay? Just give us a couple minutes, and she's probably going to be coming out and going back in one of our cars, okay? All right. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, and then we'll have some forms and stuff for you to fill out.
The Fourth Amendment requires probable cause, not certainty. Graham versus Connor, 490 U.S. 386, holds this is judged objectively at the moment of decision. Two independent witnesses, same account, neither hearing the other's interview. Constitutionally sufficient. The human question, what if one of them had motive? The law sets a threshold, not a truth test. Ohio Revised Code Section 2919.25 defines domestic violence as knowingly causing or attempting to cause harm to a household member. No injury required. Section 2935.032 removes all officer discretion once probable cause exists. The arrest is mandatory. The counter-argument, handcuffs on testimony alone, Ohio designed this deliberately, because in domestic violence, waiting for visible proof often means it is already too late. Miranda versus Arizona, 384 U.S. 436, 1966. 4 advisements before custodial interrogation. Silence, counsel, appointed counsel, right to stop at any time. All 4 delivered, post-arrest, pre-transport. By the book. The human reality, hearing your rights in handcuffs, in your own home, feels nothing like justice. Miranda versus Arizona guarantees procedure, not comfort. At arrest, the subject disclosed interior cameras that may have captured the incident. In a case with 0 physical evidence, built on competing verbal accounts, that footage is potentially dispositive. Whether it was preserved is unconfirmed. Under Brady versus Maryland, the state's obligation to produce exculpatory material is constitutional. An unpreserved camera in a word versus word case is not a footnote. It is the case
that his cognitive decline is bad.
Okay, Emily, so I've talked to everyone involved.
Okay.
I've talked to you and your dad. So what I'm going to have you do is, can you just turn around and face that wall for me? Can you please turn around and face that wall and place your hands behind your back? So you are being placed under arrest for domestic violence, okay?
No, my hands hurt.
Okay, let's just put
Oh
your
my
hands behind your back.
God.
Face that way.
Did you
Hey,
hear
face
what?
that way. Spread your legs. Fluffy coat.
Sorry, I wanted to change.
You're okay.
I think I have video cameras upstairs.
Okay, if you do, we'll take a look at them. But like I said, right now, based off the evidence that we have,
What evidence?
both Hudson and your husband's stories.
But that's a story, that's not evidence.
All right, so I'm gonna read you something, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights as I've explained to you? Having these in mind, are you willing to answer any of my questions? So like I said, you don't have to answer anything, but that's kind of what's happening today. So you're going to be going to jail for domestic violence tonight, okay? Marissa, if you don't mind.
You wanna go in? Are these your shoes?
Yep, so we're going to go step this
Can I
way.
wear some socks? I can't go like this. I need to put an undershirt on.
Cole.
You told me I would be able to.
We can try to grab you one, okay? We can
I haven't done anything wrong.
we can take one to the jail,
Or
or
just have a t-shirt on underneath that? Can you just wear your t-shirt? Because they're going to give you different clothes
Yeah,
there
you're
at
not
the
gonna
jail.
I would like to have proper undergarments on.
They probably, I don't think they even let you wear those.
No, they're not going to.
They'll give you
Can
stuff.
you loosen that? It hurts.
yeah, which one?
Both of them.
Okay. They're both very loose, but I can try to loosen them a little bit.
Do you
They're,
wanna
they're
wear the
not meant to be
jacket?
comfortable.
Or would you rather take the jacket off and just wear the shirt? Because we can grab, I mean,
I'm not going to do anything wrong. I just asked from the very start that.
Okay, they're already really loose. I can't loosen them anymore, okay? You have a lot of spacing here. Yeah, if you want to we're going to step this way and we're just going to face the corner of your wall. Okay. If you just want to spread your feet for me.
I thought if you would have to see some kind of hurt. Nobody was hurt.
Thank you.
A person could just make an allegation like this to get out of doing homework, and a mom can be sent to jail? You can take the coat off. I can take the coat off. I'm burning up.
Okay.
I only put it on because I wanted to be respectful
I'm
to
just
you.
gonna, okay. Do you care if she takes it
Yeah,
off?
I gotta take
I
the
mean,
cuffs off.
please, can I
Just do
just...
one
All
at a
right.
time.
Yep, we'll let you take the jacket off, okay?
I only was being respectful to you,
One at
sir.
a time.
Yep. Now you can just let your arm hang down the side. All right.
I'm sweaty. I was mowing the grass this morning. I was
What?
getting ready to take a
Hang on,
shower.
Turn, face that way. We'll have you take them off, okay? I'll just take that off. All right, go ahead and lift your arm outside, like kind of vertical for me. There you go.
We'll take your phone with you.
It's almost dead.
Okay.
They're not going to let you have it at the jail anyway. Go ahead and face that way again.
Put your jacket right over here.
Put your hands behind your back.
Yep.
please.
Interlace them like you're praying. Interlace your fingers.
Can I go brush my teeth?
Alright, go spread your feet for me. No, not right now. Do you have any
Brown
pockets or
plastic
anything
bag.
on you at all?
No.
Nothing on you.
No.
Just stick that stuff
I mean,
here
there's
if
a
she wants.
pocket above my
Yeah.
dress.
She needs it.
It's a t-shirt pocket. No.
Battery, it's got place. Right, we'll go back to my car.
Alright, you want to take her?
Yeah, I'll hold on to this. All right, we're gonna step outside. You want to put your shoes on?
Yeah, go ahead and put your shoes on.
I'd rather put nicer shoes on.
Okay. Are they close
Well, they're
by?
gonna give you Crocs at the jail.
Yeah, they're gonna. Once you get to the jail, they're gonna give you a completely different set of wardrobes. So if you just want to throw those on for
Why
now,
am I going to jail?
ma'am, like I explained, you're under arrest for domestic violence. Okay. If you just want to put your shoes on,
Well, I don't understand this process. I don't understand how this could even happen. I don't understand any of it.
so we're gonna walk this way.
I'm a good person. I don't even get traffic violations.
I'm not saying you're not a good person, but
This
unfortunately,
is unbelievable.
we're gonna walk to that car over there. Okay.
What is the purpose of jail?
Ma'am, when someone's arrested for domestic violence in the state of Ohio, we
I
have.
haven't offended anybody.
Yep. All right, go ahead and face the car. Just stand still. Yep. Face this way. Don't. Okay.
So if I'd called him, then he would be the one doing this?
No, ma'am. Like at the end of the course of our investigation, this is what the outcome is.
There's no investigation.
I'm gonna put the seatbelt on. Don't take it off. All right, just hang tight.
Can I get a phone number for me?
For her.
This hurts.
Well, I guess you can
Which
get it.
one?
You can
I mean,
get it
having
when
my
you
arms
take her.
back here like this.
Unfortunately, I can't put them in the front. They have to be in the back.
If you sit to one side, like face that window or face this window, like turn your body, don't lean on your hands, it's more comfortable. So if you like pivot yourself and face your legs one side, and face towards the window, it's not on your hands.
Where are you taking me?
Give me 1 second, ma'am. I'll explain everything to you here in a minute. All right, what's a good phone number for you? All right, just hang tight. I'll answer all your questions here in a minute.
Lead officer, B+. Parties separated, all three interviewed independently before the arrest decision. Mandatory arrest statute explained accurately, without escalation. Moving the vehicle first, shielding the juvenile, showed judgment the law does not require. The concern the camera was disclosed mid-arrest and no confirmed preservation step appears in the record. In a case with no physical evidence, that moment deserved more attention. Second officer, B. Interview was patient and effective. The concern portions read more like validation than investigation, while Miranda advisements had not yet been given. In domestic cases, officer neutrality is not coldness. It is protection for the record. That line matters in any proceeding that follows. Miss Emily, D. 2 independent witnesses gave the same account. She acknowledged physical contact. Her version shifted 3 times across the interview. The human counterargument, a child in active disciplinary trouble, has plausible motive to exaggerate. Under Ohio law, that argument belongs in court, not in the field. The statute does not ask officers to resolve motive. 2 matching accounts crossed the probable cause threshold. Mr. Joseph, B-. Account was credible, corroborated, consistent. The concern information about Miss Emily's mental health and desire for divorce surfaced beyond what officers asked. Human thinking in mandatory arrest cases, the context of why the call was placed will be examined. Volunteering adverse background, while probable cause is still being assessed, is something every reviewing court will weigh. Lesson 1. Verbal corroboration carries constitutional weight, but only when precise and independent. 2 witnesses, same physical act, matching specific terms, neither hearing the other's account. That combination satisfies the Fourth Amendment without physical evidence. Vague or inconsistent corroboration does not hold the same legal force. The independence of how accounts are gathered matters as much as what they say. Lesson 2. Ohio's mandatory arrest statute removes victim preference from the equation because the legislature decided it had to. Officers who know this before the call explain it better on scene and build cleaner records. The officer here did it right. Knowing in advance, rather than reaching for it mid-arrest, is the difference between a controlled encounter and a confused one. Lesson 3. Potential exculpatory evidence cannot be a follow-up task. When a subject discloses a camera at the moment of arrest, in a word versus word case, preservation is the priority. Under Brady versus Maryland, the obligation to produce exculpatory material is constitutional. That footage either confirms the arrest or challenges it. Not knowing when you had the chance follows the case into court. Resources on Ohio's mandatory arrest statute and domestic violence support are linked in the description. The law gave these officers no discretion. Whether the law made the right call, that question is worth carrying. Thanks for watching.